West Ham United 2, Manchester United 0. Emily, you happy Hammer after that?
I could not be happier after that result. I think actually the troubling thing is that actually Manchester United played terribly. But that doesn't take away from the fact that actually we played pretty well. I don't have any real weak links in the side today. I think we held possession, we moved forward well, we defended exceptionally well, and I don't really have any criticisms of the side after that.
3 clean sheets in a row. It's a bit unusual, but the defence is playing that well. It's not really becoming surprising anymore.
Actually, that's a really good point. I think if you had told me at the start of the season that we would have kept this many clean sheets, I would have been quite surprised, because I sort of felt that Pellegrini approached the season thinking that we would just outscore the goals that were scored against us. And, you could sort of see why that was, because we have such a fantastic line going forward, but we actually didn't have the strongest defense, and it's not an area that we strengthened in the transfer window. But being where we are now and actually holding that many clean sheets, I'm exceptionally proud of the guys, and I think they've done very, very well to hold on to that.
We're starting to see how Pellegrini wants to set up week in, week out now. There seems to be a bit more consistency in terms of formation and style of play.
I'd agree with that. I think that Pellegrini really has a very strong idea of who his best players are. I think where the sort of worrying thing of that is that I would sort of argue that Pellegrini has a feeling that these are the best 11 players, and they're the best 11 players for every game. And where I get a little nervous is that I think actually some of the better teams adjust what their best 11 are depending on who they're playing, whereas Pellegrini just says, these are the 11, these are the best, this is what I'll go for. Whereas some teams actually, sometimes they need your B side to really challenge some of the players that other teams have, and I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all team that'll beat every game. Having said that, today, did he get the selection right? Absolutely, no question.
Do you still believe that about Pellegrini, or do you think that he's maybe adapting as a West Ham manager rather than a Manchester City manager?
That's a really great question. I think that he is definitely adapting as a West Ham manager, but the trouble is that as a West Ham manager, you don't have the depth of squad that you do against Manchester City. And so at Manchester City, you probably have more options to say, well, actually, this midfielder is better against this kind of team because they'll shut this player down. Whereas at West Ham, you just sort of have to say, this is the best, and this is what we'll go for. But having said that, I don't have any reason to fault him. He's been fantastic this season.
Which players impressed you the most out there today for West Ham?
Ooh, great question. I don't think anyone put a foot wrong, but actually Nobes was my top choice today. I thought he was a very deserved man of the match, and it's a real shame he didn't get it. I thought Rice had a brilliant game, and actually the other player I'm going to really champion is Ogbonna. Nobody expected him to be in the starting 11 this year. We sort of thought he would go back to Italy by mutual consent over the summer, but instead he's stepped up. He's actually become captain material, and he hasn't put a foot wrong in the past few games.
Lastly, what about Aaron Creswell for you? You come in today because Masuaku's suspended. A lot of people have their doubts about him, but fair to say he answered some of them today.
Aaron Creswell, what a thing, man. The thing with Creswell is that actually I was very team Masuaku before this game. I think he offers a lot more going forward. But I also accept that there's been a lot of trouble on that side because they're not used to Anderson coming back and defending. But he did all right today. He was a great player, but the biggest thing that Creswell brings to the side is that real raw talent when it comes to corners and free kicks. And you could tell with the first one, he was just setting it up because he hadn't had a chance. And the second one, that was a free kick that we haven't seen the skill of since we've had Payet in the team, and that was phenomenal. I think it's actually going to be a really difficult decision for Pellegrini in the next game to say, do I pull Masuaku back in, who is a very good defender, who is potentially better going forward, but how do I drop the guy that actually delivered today and scored a goal, and a phenomenal goal at that?
Fantastic, Emily. Thank you very much. Thank you as always. Cheers.